Do we have any apologies for absence?
We don't, no. So we've got the councillors that are here present, and then we have Councillor Fiona Gaskell, who is joining us remotely.
Any declarations of interest from anybody? No.
If anything does come to light, please do forward that to our attention.
And is everyone happy with the minutes of the last meeting?
Yes. Bit tighter.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
Let's just
it,
join it.
yeah.
10th of March already. There you go. I'll put them back.
Yes, please, thank you.
Thank you. Right. There's no chairman's report. Any urgent items?
No, don't need of those.
Okay. Any public questions
No, none have been received.
or letters of objection?
No, we haven't received any of those either.
Okay. So tonight we're going to discuss applications registered week ending the 20th of the 2nd, the 27th of the 2nd and the 6th of the 3rd, 2026. You want to go to these gentlemen first?
Yes, if I
Yep.
can draw your attention to page 14 of the agenda. Before we begin, I will just get the images up on the screen.
Hey. Yeah.
That's the one, yeah, Bracefield, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
So-
okay, so we have a representative from Jarvis, Mike Peters, who'd like to speak for the application. So would you like to hear him speak first before I present my notes, or would you like me to do my notes first?
Can we do your notes
Of
first?
course, yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to hear reference 5/2026-0274.
Okay, so observations is the proposers looking to construct 3 detached dwellings following the demolition of the existing substantial property that sits on a very large plot with a separate detached 2-storey garage straight office building, along with a paddock located forward of the front building line to the side of the access driveway, therefore providing a good sized development block. Precedence has been set with the demolition in 2020 of South Home, which sat directly next to the development site on Redwall Lane. This was a single dwelling replaced with 3 detached properties. With the design and scale of the proposed plots A and B mirror that of these properties, therefore creating uniform street scene. The site backs on to Harpenden Golf Club, therefore there is no consideration for the rear window to window impact, and first floor side extensions are always obscure glazed. The relationship of plot B with neighbouring properties Sion House appears to be acceptable due to its angled positioning in relation to the proposed new dwelling. Plots A and B sit over the footprint of the existing property, and plot C is set to the front of plots A and B but forms part of the Oakhurst Avenue street scene. Plots A and B take the form of a 2.5-storey with basements, and plot C is a 1.5-storey with a basement to present a less dominant appearance. Access to plots A and B will be via the existing access drive, but splitting off towards each property before connecting to their respective driveways. Plot C will be accessed from Oakhurst Avenue via another existing access point and the addition of another to create a carriage driveway. Landscaping is proposed across the development access routes and frontages, along with amply sized rear gardens for each property. 14 trees are to be removed, with the replacement of 21 trees across the site, with the scope for others to be added. Ample parking provision is provided for each property, with a double garage and 2 additional spaces for plots A and B. Plot C has a single garage and 3 additional parking spaces. An ecology survey has been conducted, which concluded that there is bat evidence in the main house. Therefore, it is necessary for alternate routes to be provided before demolition can take place, along with a bat licence obtained, not conservation area. So at this point, my recommendation is no objections, subject to no loss of immunity to Sion House from plot B, policy ESD1 and ESD2 of the neighbourhood plan, and policy 69 and 70 of the district plan refers.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Peters, if you want to.
Somewhere that was, but it was very good, so I'm probably repeating. Just a bit of background, we did develop the adjoining site where there used to be a single house, South Home. So this is continuation of the theme. In preparing this application, we had a formal pre-app with St Albans District Council, and we've had one-to-one consultations with both immediate adjoining neighbours at Scion House and Sunningdale. And we've also had consultations with the golf club to the rear. All the minor queries and issues that were raised by those three parties have been fully addressed and included within this application. With the pre-app with St Albans, they summarised the principle of 2 houses to the rear element and 1 to the front was acceptable. They made a number of specific comments, again, all of which we have taken on board. The front house, in the pre-app proposal, it had its back towards Redbourne Lane, and St Albans District Council wanted to have its frontage towards Oakhurst Avenue, utilising the existing access and not having a back elevation to Redbourne Road. So that's been incorporated in the scheme, and effectively it mirrors the arrangement and setting of the house opposite at number 1 Oakhurst Avenue. The rear houses, these match the sizes of those recently built, respecting similar air gaps and alignment to respect 45-degree lines from rear windows of adjoining houses. In addition to the comments from St Albans, we reached some conclusions of our own. The front house should be more modest and subordinate to those at the rear. We should make the side elevation, which now faces onto Redbourne Lane, more than a flat flank wall and incorporate some street scene interest. Effectively, one of the features of the site at the moment is the front paddock, fairly unique in Harpenden. So we've effectively maintained that. This will be landscaped and become communally maintained and shared by each homeowner, contributing and enhancing ecology by achieving BNG in excess of the mandatory 10%. We're retaining the principle of a garden wall enclosing the development and separating the front paddock from the 3 houses. The building at the front has been positioned to ensure the best trees, which are 2 oak trees and 1 large walnut tree, can be retained. We've maintained the notional building line for the 2-storey and single-storey structures for all the adjoining properties in Redbourne Lane. In terms of highways, existing access onto Oakhurst Avenue, a private road, has been agreed with the road owners, and that existing access already exists. And the existing access onto Redbourne Lane will remain unchanged. And this has been designed to enable refuse and fire tenders to turn on the site. So it is fully compliant with all Herts Highways guidelines and visibility displays. We've touched on BNG, that we've provided more than 10%. You touched on ecology. There is evidence of bats, so a licence will be required before any demolition. And no other ecology matters have been flagged up. And then perhaps the most important bit, the Harpenden Neighbourhood Plan. Its main key points: low carbon living. These will be highly efficient houses and will benefit from an EPC A rating. Visual character: the property should enhance the local character and be visually attractive. Land use: more efficient use of an existing single house plot. And landscaping: for every tree removed, 2 new ones to be planted. It's a slight difference in our notes. I think there's 28 new trees, not 21.
Oh, okay.
But I may need to recount.
Well, I think I picked it up from your planning statement.
I need to recount, but there should be 2 for every one that's removed.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fairly sure that I picked up wording from, because the planning statement, I couldn't get it online annoyingly, so I think. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for listening. And I know it's not necessarily the way, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
So the paddock at the front, at the current state, it's got LB. What does LB mean?
When you say current state, what do you mean?
At the paddock is, it says LB. Who owns the paddock at the front? Is that owned by Bretcherfield?
That's owned by Bracefield.
What's the LB where you've seen LB? And so-
Yeah, so it's, so
So
basically
that-
when you look at all the different things that you're planning, it says LB in here, and I wasn't sure what LB.
Letterbox.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, thank you.
Yeah, it's on the road.
It is. Yes. Good. Thank you.
That's it, yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm very curious.
I was thinking listed buildings. I was like, no.
I can't figure it.
Yeah, I think it's letterbox.
Yeah, I've seen a letterbox there. So with the letterbox, that would be maintained.
It's on the map.
Well, I think it's on
It's
the
on there,
highway,
yes.
It's on the proposed site
Yeah.
plan, so yeah.
And didn't we have an issue in West Common with carriageway driveways? Because the one on Oakhurst Avenue seems to be carriageway, is that right? Am I seeing that right? It's very small.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not an issue that we had. It's something that Hertfordshire Highways were beginning to flag, which actually
Yeah.
kind of we're noticing bizarrely with applications that have been submitted. That Hertfordshire Highways have put in objection to a second access.
Because they
curb or- yeah.
through the curb.
Yeah.
It was, there was nothing principally wrong with the application, but Hertfordshire Highways kept on flagging that they would not support the addition of an extra access when there was already one that was in situ.
So Oakhurst Avenue is not a Hearts Highway. It's a private road.
It is a private road, but I use that road quite a lot.
Yeah. lot of
And I
people do.
appreciate that having a carriageway like that, and it can be quite fast, so people coming in there can be quite fast. So I see that as a bit of a safety hazard. And I mean, I also feel that, and I know obviously it's development, but it's just very sad to see Eric Morecambe's house being bulldozed. So. Yes,
It's not conservation area,
Yeah.
it's not
No.
locally listed, unfortunately.
It's actually built by us in 1930.
it was, and quite a lot
So it's
of
around 100 years on. It's quite a sort of,
Most of your other houses are preserved, aren't they, round there?
general, some, no, not really, not in West Common. There will be elements of the site which are going to pay homage to the
Lovely.
history.
And
So
how
there
would
will
that be done?
A history board at the front, just by the paddock. If people are walking past, they can see.
Nice.
There's a couple of trees that were given to him that will have plaques at the bottom of them explaining why they were given to him. And there's quite a famous tree stump that he put his initials on when man landed on the moon. And that's going to be kept and put in a glass box for people to see.
Oh, nice.
That's a long time
Thank you.
ago. So he's been there for a long time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the tree positioning, obviously you're putting in twice the amount of trees, because that road it is quite a busy road coming in there and going out. So I'd be quite keen to see where the tree positioning is going to be on the plot C, for example.
Is it where the circles are?
So I think on the landscaping plan, which I think might be one or two more slides on from that, James.
That is the landscape by one here, yeah.
Yeah, the one that is with paper clipping that you've got.
The big walnut tree here. The house has been kept out of that. These will all be new trees and those are existing trees that are going to be just tidied up and left.
The trees that are on there, you're saying are all existing?
No. not
They're all
of them.
new?
Combination.
Because I personally,
That one exists,
Pointing it out.
that exists and that exists. There's a
Yeah.
hedgerow in here, that's staying.
yeah,
There's just a little hedge at the front, so some new trees are going to be planted there, but the public highway's here. About 5 metres back from the highway. And the existing trees on the corner of Oakhurst will stay.
Up to there. There we go.
Quite a bit off the day road.
it's quite a bit off, but literally you do have to really creep out at that junction.
Quite big trees there now.
The junction's the other side of it. Yeah, because there's obviously the hedge. When you say the hedge, it's the hedge that we're talking about there that's,
That's going to stay.
okay.
And then just behind that hedge, there will be some specimen trees put in.
They can fit, oh, sorry, go on, Vicky.
I was just going to say, I'm guessing the 1930s house is probably not as well insulated as it might be.
It's single brickwork, yeah.
That's what I thought, because I moved into a 1930s. I don't know if it's one of your houses or not, but it's not one of the most efficient houses I know. I'm guessing, so that would be
Optic. Fiona?
Oh, yeah, I think it's fine. And
Thank
I would agree with the officer's recommendation.
Thank you. Nick?
Yeah, I did have a tiny question. It's not really, it's a bit more curiosity than anything. With the little B&G credit paddock at the front, does does that work in more like a covenant to be maintained by the homeowners, or do they own a third of it each type thing? How does that work in terms of maintenance going forward? Because that will be 30 years it's kept for, won't it?
So it'll be a management company that's formed, which they'll all be shareholders of, but the management
Oh, I
company will
see.
own it. And it will be put into a 30-year management plan.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just curious. Thank you. Otherwise, yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I quite like it, to be honest. I mean, compared to some developments that we've seen, it isn't squeezing a quart into a pint pot. There's plenty of room for the three houses, all being left with actually quite substantial plots, as far as I can see. I like the fact that all the right number of ratio of trees are going to be planted. I like that. I like that they've got the ecological area at the front. That's quite a nice feature, and the designs themselves seem quite compatible with the other houses along there, which is also another concern. But you know, there seems to be some care taken over that. They're not monstrosities. So a lot of the things I normally look for, which you know get me worried, aren't there. So I actually, you know, I really quite like this, to be honest.
Lovely. Sam?
A comment from me.
Okay. I'm very happy. I'm assuming therefore we are all very happy with Heather's consideration, no objection.
Yeah.
Subject to last meeting.
Yeah.
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 Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
We shall
Back
go
to the
back
beginning now.
to,
Yeah.
Is it possible to get a copy of your agenda?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's all online.
Oh, it's online, is
If
it?
you want a hard copy, I can send you a hard copy.
No, that's fine. It's online. Thank you.
Okay,
Fine.
thank you.
good night.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, so we move on to 520, we're on page 8 now, everyone. 5/2026/0203, which is 11 Lee Road.
Okay, the proposal is looking to create a two-storey wraparound extension down the side of number 13 Lee Road, but leaving a 1 metre gap down the boundary and across the rear to join the existing rear projection, which includes a small increased rearward from the existing rear building line. This will create a store, utility and open plan living accommodation at ground floor and an additional bedroom and extended bathroom at first floor. Extension does require the loss of the detached garage, which is positioned in the garden, but due to a brick wall with a gate on the frontage, it does not appear to be accessible. The frontage appears to accommodate 2 straight cars off street. Road slopes down towards 13 Lee Road, which is a bungalow. Therefore, consideration needs to be given to the possible impact on them from the proposed side element of the extension, where there are no overlooking windows on this side of the application property. It is not clear what windows could be affected for number 13, but there is a thick hedge to their boundary line, which reduces any impact. Not conservation area and no tree work is proposed. And I've said consider no objections subject to no loss of amenity to number 13 Lee Road. Policy ESD2 of the neighbourhood plan and 72 of the district plan refers.
Anyone disagree with what Heather's said? Everyone happy?
Yep.
Thank you very much. 5/2026/0228 and 5/2026/0211 do not meet the criteria for this evening's committee. 5/2026/2285 does, which is 11 Salisbury Avenue.
Okay, the property is a large characterful locally listed building property in the conservation area, which sits on a good sized plot and has been extended in various ways at ground floor level, which has created an inconsistently designed property. This proposal is looking to demolish these extensions and replace with more simply designed extensions, along with a modest 2-storey extension to extend the existing master bedroom. One of the existing rear dormers is also to be removed to facilitate the roof form for the master bedroom extension. Also proposed as part of the application is the demolition of a garden shed structure that sits along the side boundary line with number 11A Salisbury Avenue and is attached by part of wall to the garden room of 2A Rosebery Avenue. This is to be replaced with a a black composite slatted clad single-storey gym pavilion building that is linked to the main house by a short aluminium framed glazed walkway. This will not be attached to the garden room of 288 Rosebery Avenue, leaving gap to the boundary. Due to the positioning of surrounding properties, these proposals will not have any impact on them. One tree is to be removed, but is to be replaced by 11 across the rear garden. There are no changes to the frontage. And at the point of me doing the agenda, I said consider no objections, subject to the design and materials being deemed acceptable on this locally listed building in the Harpenden Conservation Area. Policy ESD2 of the neighbourhood plan and 72, 85 and 87 of the district plan affairs. There is actually an objection online, which I picked up today, which is from 11A Salisbury Avenue. Their concerns are the boundary detail. The submitted drawings do not appear to show the existing or proposed boundary condition in relation to the garden wall between our properties. This is particularly relevant in the corner of our garden adjacent to the proposed courtyard and glazed links. In order to fully understand the proposal, it would be helpful if the drawings were updated to include the boundary wall on both plan and elevational drawings. Ground levels and relationship with the boundary wall. It would also be helpful if the drawings could indicate the existing ground level within the garden of 11A, adjacent to the proposed courtyard area. Without a clear understanding of the relative levels, it's difficult to assess the potential impact of the proposed squared off roof line of the gym extension. Number 11's ground level is several feet higher than 11A. Location of air conditioning units. We have concerns regarding the location of the two proposed air conditioning units facing the boundary. Given the proposed position, there will be noise to our garden and the unknown possibility of resonance effects within a relatively tight courtyard area. We would ask that these units could be relocated ideally further towards the front of our properties and away from the vicinity of our rear gardens. And yeah, essentially that's kind of all of their concerns were that have planning relation.
So they're 2 foot higher. Their garden is 2 foot high, lower than 11.
Appears to be, yes.
Perhaps could I perhaps suggest then we add an additional, it's almost subject to no loss of amenity to 11A and subject to the design materials being deemed acceptable, etc.
Yes, more than happy to add that wording, yeah.
So just to confirm that there was windows and there was the height of the gym, because I guess that's ground floor and
So,
they're 2 foot higher.
yeah, so I
Period over
don't
the fence.
know that they haven't mentioned specifically wording in relation to windows.
It's the aircon they're
It
worried.
was the air
aircon, sorry,
conditioning,
yeah.
yeah, that they were sort of concerned. They were basically concerned about the positioning of those being very, very close to their garden, basically. And suggest that they be relocated to be further towards the front. It's kind of because of the layout of the sort of the street. Trying to sort
Is that
of.
the handwriting? It's dreadful. What did that say? Behind the gym.
Stall.
Door.
Is there a report for the noise coming off is it air conditioning, heat pump, air conditioning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a report for that,
Right.
for the noise level?
No, and I only just noticed them noted on basically this, the block plan is the only place that they are actually mentioned. They aren't on any of the elevational drawings.
Where are they mentioned?
So literally just there where I've highlighted it
Oh,
in
the
yellow.
yellow,
That's the only place
Yeah.
where it's mentioned of air conditioning
And
units.
that's right on the
Because,
border. isn't
yeah,
it?
next.
The drawing of is there a drawing? of
That
the
suggests that's onto their
extension?
house. That looks to me to be in, if you pop up, if you wouldn't mind
Sorry,
popping up
yeah, go.
the yellow highlighting.
Yeah.
That appears to me, based on the site map, this one, to be in the kind of, I don't want to call it a service corridor, but the kind of access path in between the two buildings. So I'm not sure what impact that would have on their garden, but again, I think it's quite.
Noise,
difficult.
isn't it?
I think it's
Depends
difficult to
if they've got any
say
windows.
information.
Unless they've got any windows or anything there. So
Noise, vibrations, is it sitting on pads, it's sat straight onto their building? I think that
Yeah.
needs to be,
they're unsightly and they can be noisy.
yeah, and they've got a lot of space on the other side, why can't it be on the other side?
It's also the fact they pump out hot air.
In the summer, yeah.
So there's also the fact that if they've got a door or anything there, it's going to go straight in the house, up there in their house, which is deeply
Okay,
unpleasant.
so what's the best recommendation, Heather, on this conversation?
Yeah, so I think kind of really on the basis of what Sam's mentioned is that no objections subject to no loss of amenity to 11A. I mean, I can be specific and say in relation to the air conditioning units. You know, it's very difficult for us to sort of kind of to make a suggestion based on the lack of you know, ultimately they're drawing attention to it's difficult to tell
Yeah.
from the drawings as opposed to them having a very defined objection
Yeah,
to something. So whereas they're very clear saying about the air
I mean,
conditioning units.
You know, it's their air conditioning. Couldn't they move it away from 11A? Because they've got all that space on the other side.
They're not going to want it going into their garden though, are they? It's going to be noisy when you're out having a barbecue.
But that's the problem.
Exactly, and therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
You can actually, on the proposed drawing,
Side?
3, 4, 5,
Onto the chicken building.
6, 6 bed, whereas the existing
Oh,
proposal
what,
on the
down,
side, you
down?
can see the
Yeah.
two air conditioning units or the where they're going to go. It doesn't really give you a,
I mean, we can put it down on
It's a sprawling house, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Why is it listed?
Because it was obviously deemed as being of a particular
value.
yeah, I mean, when you look at it sort of kind of from the front, you can understand why.
Okay, I'm just going to check in with the.
Why it's listed?
Yeah, it's, you know, it's a particularly characterful building in the conservation
Very
area.
pretty.
yeah.
So check with Fiona and Nick, see if they want to add anything to what's been said or disagree with it in any way.
No, nothing to add, thanks.
No, agree with comments. It's, nothing to add really.
Okay, so we're going to add that in. Do we need to add in as well as aircon, the levelling of the garden?
Is that not all just amenity though? Kind of.
It
more
could be,
generic.
but more, because it's not mentioned anywhere in the planning application. It's only mentioned in the
I
objection.
see what you mean, right, for specific flagging.
Yeah,
the new roof for the gym. The logos could actually become an impact for the when it starts to rain as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're fine on that one.
Yeah, happy with that one now?
Yeah. So if we move on to 5/2026/0263, which is 15 Swansea Avenue, justified, I live at number 16 Swansea Avenue, but we have discussed this before, but I don't own the property, nor am I actually affected by it, because I'm obviously we're further
I'm
down.
going to say, yeah, so if you have no connection
No
to,
connection. I mean, I know them, but not. Okay.
right, okay, this application appears to fundamentally be the same as the refused application from 2025, save for a few minor amendments which specifically intend to address concerns raised in the case officer's report in relation to perceived effect on residential amenity at the neighbouring property 11 Swansea Avenue. These amendments are the removal of the first floor side windows. Possible loss of amenity to number 11 is also reduced by the fact that a planning application to their properties has now commenced construction, which removes the ground floor study window, cited as the main reason for refusal. Internal layout is altered and the window previously used for the BRE assessment will no longer exist. Key details from the previous application, which are still relevant, are property, the bulk of which sits further back than the forward building lines of the two neighbouring properties and extends much further back on the plot than the neighbouring properties. Therefore, consideration of possible impact on neighbouring properties from the proposal must be considered. Proposal is looking to add a two-storey side rear extension to the side of number 11 Swansea Avenue, which will add 2 additional ground floor rooms and another bedroom with dressing stroke ensuite at the first floor. Part single and two-storey side extension on the side of number 17 is also proposed, which will reconfigure the ground floor space and increase the first floor bathroom size. 1 metre gap down the boundaries to both sides and the 45-degree visibility zones for each neighbouring property are shown as not impeded by the proposed extensions. Part single and two-storey rear extension will connect the ground floor elements of the two proposed side extensions and increase the size of the existing rear bedroom. Existing cat slide roof will change to hit, like other properties in the street scene. A raised patio to the rear is proposed to link the new extensions. Due to the gradient of the garden and the height of the proposed patio, screening will be provided to both sides of the patio to prevent overlooking into the neighbours' gardens. The driveway can accommodate 3 cars. There are no trees or hedges are to be removed. Not conservation area, consider no objection, subject to the previous reasons for refusal being addressed.
Happy with that? Any comments?
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Guys, okay?
Yeah.
I love that brick
Yeah.
wall.
Very nice.
Very pretty brick wall.
Okay, thank you. So 5/2026 0234 and 0275 will not discuss this evening. So we'll move on to 5/2026 0248, which is 34 St James Road.
To move to standards used for people looking in. The post is looking to replace the existing flat roof with a pitched roof with skylights to the rear ground floor element. There are no changes or extensions proposed to the ground floor. At first floor, it is proposed to add an extension partially over the existing ground floor element to extend an existing bedroom. Extension is positioned in the centre of the property, therefore does not cause any impact on the neighbouring properties. No tree works, not conservation area, no objections. My recommendation.
Everyone agree with that?
Yeah.
Thank you. So 5/2026 0229 0230 0271 0295 will not be discussed this evening. 5/2026 0298 will be, which is Ayres End Lane. Byways.
Yeah, byways. Okay.
Here we go, byways.
The proposal is looking to demolish the existing annex for garages and replace with a more modern structure with a glazed link to the main dwelling. The new annex will contain an indoor swimming pool, sauna, shower room, gym, galleried kitchen, cinema room, office and single garage. There will no longer be bedrooms included. Ridge height is no higher than the existing and the structure is repositioned on the plot further away from the boundary. Just move to this so the others can see it at home. The host property, which borders Harpenden Common, is sizable, is locally listed in the conservation area and sits in the green belt. A number of additions stroke extensions to the main property have been made over the years. Planning permission granted in 2009 for the extension and conversion of the existing garage attached to the detached annex into a habitable room. This subject of this application. The annex, which predates 1948, is now visually tired and fragmented in design due to extensions added, including the garage in 2009. The annex currently has 2 bedrooms, a lounge, which is used as a gym, kitchen, shower room, and a double garage. Due to the proposal not exceeding the ridge height of the existing structure and the application of metrics for acceptable increases in floor space in the green belt, not creating any visual impact due to its positioning and being contained within the curtilage of an existing building, it appears to comply with the requirements for development in the green belt. And I've said consider no objections, subject to it being deemed to comply with policies ESD 1 and 2 of the neighbourhood plan, policies 1, 13, 85 and 87 of the district plan.
Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there's actually a letter of support online from the resident of Ayres Lodge.
Thank you. So 5/2026 0285, which is 74 Pickett's Hill Lane.
Okay, planning permission was granted in 2020 for a very similar proposal to this application that has not been constructed. The changes from the approved application are that the ground floor rear extension projects further rearwards, and at first floor, the side extension starts further forwards and the rear element extends further over the ground floor element to extend the master bedroom further. The extensions do not extend closer to the boundary than the approved application, and the 45-degree visibility zone for number 72 Pickett's Hill Lane have been shown as not impacted. Changes are fundamentally quite minor and do not move much away from what has already been approved. Consider no objection.
Thank you. Everyone happy with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then we have already done the next one, and the last 2 we're not discussing are 5/2026 0297 and 2368. Thank you. We have some appeals.
We do, yeah. So 12 Avenue St Nicholas, we didn't actually comment on this one because it didn't fulfil the criteria.
Yep.
I'll wait the outcome for that one. And then at 14 Moorland Road, we had no objections subject to the previous reasons for refusal being addressed, but obviously supporting the district council.
Didn't think they had
don't
any.
view that it has been addressed. So
Right.
we will await the outcome.
So they've gone to the government.
They've gone to the CS sectors, so.
Mm. And then any tree works of note?
So there's literally one page of tree works, I think, on there. And then just kind of really to update you with some past applications and the outcomes for it. So this one at 24 Roundwood Park, which we looked at some time ago, which was quite a substantial kind of increase in ridge height and et cetera. We actually didn't have any problems with it. We
Doesn't do
did
that.
say no objections subject to it being in keeping with the street scene. Well, the district council basically don't view that it's been, that it fits with the street scene. They say due to the provenant two-storey projection, the use of excessive glazing appearing over dominant within the front and rear elevations, proliferation of dormers dominating the roof slopes. So yeah,
Too much.
ultimately it was just too much.
I don't remember that one. I don't think I did that one.
I think it was actually in January that we looked at the, when you see the post there, it's
There was a week I wasn't.
quite a
there.
lot going on. There's that one.
Thank you.
And then some time ago, I
Right.
don't know if you remember this one, which was where they had planning permission for this 3-bedroom house. And then they came back wanting to put a little bungalow in. So we looked at this quite some time ago. So this has been refused. Where despite it's being small, they say that is out of keeping with the pattern and grain of the locality.
So they're not building the other house?
Well, I think probably permission might have expired by now.
Right, they've come
Possibly.
back
I
going,
don't
can I
know.
build the bungalow? And we went, no.
No, so we didn't have a problem with it because of it was so modest, but the district council have refused it because they say that it, and quite rightly,
It's not in
it's
keeping.
not in keeping with the pattern and grain of the locality because the rest of the area is ultimately 2-storey normal properties.
So
So,
if they put a house there, they've been happy with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they got permission for that. They just
Yeah,
had
that's the one where we said, isn't this the one where we said, we keep asking people to build bungalows and if we're going to say yes
Yes,
to this,
that was it.
when the hell are we going to say yes to a bungalow? It was that house.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, permission's
got
been
that.
refused for it.
People keep slapping a second story on bungalow.
Oh, Kirkdale.
And then lastly, was this one at Kirkdale Road, which is kind of right hidden up the end.
Oh, right.
Look at this one.
Yeah, it's some time ago, it's like November or something like
Oh.
last year. So this has been refused. We didn't have a problem with it. Due to cumulative bulk scale, excessive 2-storey and single-storey additions, or multiple elevations.
They're all
so-
built up around there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
particularly keen on it. And that's
it.
yeah, that's it really. I want to just kind of,
But no update on the drop curve.
so, no, so actually what I might do is I might have a little look back because it could be that permissions have been granted for them and they haven't kind of come on my radar because they've been
Because they
permitted. Let me make a
Have-
note.
have a
and I'll
flip,
have
yeah,
a
if you
look.
can.
There are a
I
few.
can't remember the number, do have a piece of paper, I'd check, but
No, don't worry, I'll be able to find them quite easily.
I feel like that would be a good indicator for us, because I personally think the highways policy is nonsense and I'm inclined to completely ignore it when it comes to drop curves. I mean, if there's particular reason in a specific example why we should take that into account, I think in that instance, yes, but as a generic rule.
Because it's Collins Road, isn't it? Was one.
Was it Barlings Road?
There was one on Barlings, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was-
That would be
There was
great.
one at the end of the cul-de-sac.
And have a gate as well.
Yeah.
I think
Black
that was
gates
the
there.
one.
Oh,
The Black
that was-
Gate was
Yeah,
the-
that's Collins Road that we looked at last
Yeah.
time, yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be interesting because if the district is going to take that seriously, then
We need
we
to.
need to, but I'm, yeah.
I'll do some research and feedback.
Thanks, Heather.
Did I have a question on them? Has anything happened regarding the garage?
Yeah, the garage.
I know they've pulled out, didn't they? They withdrew or they got refused. It got refused, didn't
Which
it?
garage, what, the one on the uplands?
The one on the uplands, yeah.
Yeah, so nothing further. I've not heard anything different.
No
It
new
was
applications
refused.
gone in.
No.
No. Okay. And then the next meeting's Tuesday, the 7th of April. I know, Fiona, you can't make that date.
Correct.
Is
I've
anyone else?
asked for a sub.
Right, okay.
Jill has replied saying she can't do it, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Hopefully someone else might
Yeah.
move forward.
I like to come to
Okay,
it.
that's good. What about Alistair?
Sure where he is.
Could you ask him? He's
Yeah.
living two down. We are.
I'll put an extra note in to block it out on my work diary. Then,
I'm all right.
You're fine, I'm fine. I can't be the one after.
We'll cross that.
But we'll
bridge
cross
when
that
we
bridge
come
later,
to it.
yeah.
yeah, then that one, I'm not sure if I can do because that's the day of my exam. I'm sure I need to.
The end of April.
28th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I can't do. I'm in Cambridge.
Okay. Yeah. Righty.
Okay,
Okay,
Thank you very much.
happy
you.
closing at 11 minutes past. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
yeah. Lovely. Thanks ever so much.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, bye.
So we
Thanks,
might
all.
need Nick to come in for that one then on the 28th. Nick, if,
28th.
can you make sure you can get in for that date?
I thought it was the 7th. You just moved.
Yeah, the one after.
Oh, the one
They're
after.
go- they're going ahead.
Yeah, the reason on the 28th is that Sam and Kirsty both cannot be here for sure. So if you're
I
able,
can put it in.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
The 28th,
Yeah,
7th, yeah, it's all right for me.
Okay.
We can ask Millen, but he's not super able